Have you ever had a moment where you just knew you were done with a certain version of yourself? Maybe you couldn't explain it to anyone else, but deep inside, something shifted. That's what this year feels like. A collective exhale, a release of everything that no longer fits. And here's the beautiful part. The more we let go, the lighter we become. We start to notice the subtle energy of life, the synchronicities, the intuitive nudges, the sense that we're being guided towards something greater. This is what relationships in 2025 are about. They're not just about companionship, or romance, or even healing old wounds. They're about co-creation. Imagine what's possible when two people come together, not to complete each other, but to amplify each other. That's higher love in action. It's a dance of two whole beings, each standing in their truth, creating something that's bigger than the sum of its parts. And this doesn't just apply to romantic partnerships. It's happening in friendships, in families, in communities. The energy of 2025 is pulling us toward connections that feel expansive, that challenge us to grow, that mirror our potential back to us. But here's the catch. Higher love asks us to show up fully. To be vulnerable. To say the hard things, to set boundaries, to let ourselves be seen in our messiness and our brilliance. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. I want to share something that's been on my heart lately. Have you noticed how, when you start to raise your vibration, certain relationships either rise with you or fall away? It's not because one person is better than the other, it's about resonance. Like two musical notes either harmonizing or clashing, relationships are deeply affected by our energetic frequency. So, what do we do when someone we love isn't aligned with our new vibration? This is one of the most tender questions of the journey. The answer, I think, lies in honoring both your path and theirs. Sometimes, that means creating space, allowing each of you to grow in your own way. Other times, it means having the courage to invite them to rise with you, knowing that the choice is ultimately theirs. This is the gift of quantum jumping. It's not about forcing anyone to change. It's about creating the conditions for transformation, both within ourselves and in the spaces we share with others. And as we step into these higher timelines, we start to realize something profound. Love is never lost. Even when relationships end or shift, the energy of love remains. It transforms, it evolves, but it doesn't disappear. This realization is freeing. It allows us to move through life with an open heart, trusting that every connection, no matter how brief or long-lasting, serves a purpose. Some are here to teach us, some to challenge us, and some to walk beside us for a lifetime. But all of them, every single one, are reflections of the love we carry within ourselves. So, if you're feeling the intensity of this year, know that you're not alone. The entire planet is shifting, recalibrating, aligning with higher frequencies. And in the midst of it all, relationships are our greatest teachers. They show us where we're still holding on to fear, where we need to forgive, where we're ready to expand. It's not always easy work. There will be moments when it feels like everything is falling apart. But what if, instead, it's falling into place? What if every goodbye is clearing space for something more aligned? What if every challenge is a reminder of your strength? What if every choice you make this year is laying the foundation for a life filled with deeper love, greater joy, and profound connection? This is the energy of 2025. It's asking us to trust the process, even when we can't see the full picture. To keep choosing love, even when fear tries to creep in. To stay open, even when the old patterns whisper, close your heart. Because here's the truth. You are not the same person you were last year. Your energy has shifted, your soul has expanded, and your capacity for love, for higher love, has grown beyond what you might even realize. So, take a moment to breathe that in. Feel into the version of you who is already living in alignment with this energy. They are not far away, they are just a choice, a vibration, a leap of faith away. And as you continue to navigate this year, remember, you're not doing it alone. We're all in this together, co-creating a reality where love is the foundation, where relationships are sacred, and where every quantum jump leads us closer to the truth of who we are. Because that's what this journey is really about. It's not just about reaching a destination. It's about becoming the version of ourselves who is ready to receive everything we've ever dreamed of and more. As we lean into this journey, there's a quiet but powerful truth that keeps emerging. The version of us who is ready for higher love, who is prepared to quantum jump into new realities, isn't someone we're trying to become. It's someone we're remembering. Think about that for a moment. All the love, the joy, the expansion you're seeking, it's already within you. It always has been. The work isn't about chasing something outside of yourself. It's about peeling back the layers of doubt, fear, and conditioning to uncover the essence of who you've always been. This is why the energy of 2025 feels so potent. It's a year of remembering. Remembering what it feels like to trust yourself completely. Remembering the infinite nature of love. Remembering that you're a co-creator of your reality, not just a passenger in someone else's story. When it comes to relationships, this remembering can feel both liberating and challenging. Liberating, because it reminds us that we're never truly disconnected from love, no matter what happens in the external world. Challenging, because it asks us to take full responsibility for the energy we bring into our connections. Have you ever noticed how your energy sets the tone for your relationships? When you're grounded, open, and aligned, the people around you tend to mirror that energy. But when you're caught in fear, doubt, or scarcity, it creates a ripple effect that can distort even the most loving connections. This isn't about blame, it's about awareness. 2025 is inviting us to become conscious of the frequencies we're transmitting and to take ownership of the ways we contribute to the dynamics in our relationships. Have you ever felt like you're standing on the edge of something immense, like your entire life is about to shift in ways you can't yet comprehend? That's the energy of 2025. It's potent, transformative, and deeply personal. There's a sense that we're being invited, called, to step into a new reality. And at the heart of it all are relationships, not just the ones we have with others, but the one we have with ourselves, with the universe, and with this profound concept of higher love. Let's start with the relationships closest to us. Have you noticed how many of them feel different lately? Maybe you've been questioning old dynamics, wondering why certain connections no longer resonate the way they once did. Or maybe you've experienced sudden, unexpected shifts, a breakup, a reconciliation, or even the arrival of someone new who feels like they've been part of your soul's journey forever. This isn't random. The energy of 2025 is all about alignment. It's like the universe is holding up a giant mirror, asking us to look deeply into the ways we show up in our relationships. Are they reflections of our highest selves? Or are they echoes of old wounds and patterns we've outgrown? It's not always an easy process. Sometimes, it feels like we're being asked to let go of people we thought we'd never lose, or confront parts of ourselves we've avoided for years. But here's the thing, every relationship, every encounter, is a portal. A doorway into deeper understanding. And this year, those doorways are wide open. Now, this is where quantum jumping comes in. Have you heard of it? It's the idea that we can shift timelines, step into a reality that's more aligned with who we truly are. At its core, quantum jumping isn't about escaping where you are. It's about choosing a different vibration, a different path, and then allowing the universe to meet you there. In the context of relationships, this means we're no longer playing out the same old stories. You know the ones I'm talking about, the loops of misunderstanding, fear, or settling for less than we deserve. Instead, we're being offered a chance to quantum leap into connections that are rooted in higher love. And what is higher love, really? It's not just romantic. It's expansive. It's the kind of love that doesn't try to control or possess, but simply is. It's the love that flows when we're in alignment with our soul, when we recognize the divine in ourselves and others. Think about the relationships in your life right now. Which ones feel like they're pulling you toward that kind of love? And which ones feel like they're tethering you to something smaller? Sometimes, stepping into higher love means letting go. Not out of anger or resentment, but out of a deep knowing that your paths are no longer aligned. And other times, it means staying, showing up with more vulnerability, more courage, and more authenticity than ever before. This is the energetic work of 2025. It's peeling back the layers, getting to the essence of who we are and what we want to co-create in this lifetime. It's about recognizing that every interaction, every choice, is a ripple in the quantum field. Here's something that's been coming through strongly for me lately: the idea that time isn't as linear as we think. When we talk about quantum jumping, we're acknowledging that every possibility already exists. The version of you who's in that deeply fulfilling relationship, they are real. The version of you who's living in higher love, creating magic in every interaction, they are real, too. So how do we bridge that gap? How do we shift into those timelines? It starts with belief. With feeling into the energy of what we want, even if we can't yet see it. It's not about forcing things to happen. It's about aligning with the frequency of the life we're ready to step into. This might sound abstract, but it's actually incredibly practical. Think about how you feel when you're around someone who uplifts you, who sees you, who loves you without conditions. That feeling. That's your compass. That's the energy you're being invited to cultivate, not just in your relationships, but in your entire life. And here's the kicker: the more you embody that energy, the more it becomes your reality. People, opportunities, and experiences that match that vibration start to flow into your life. It's like the universe is saying, finally, you're ready. But what about the relationships that challenge us? The ones that don't feel like higher love? They are part of the journey too. Sometimes, they're our greatest teachers. They show us where we're still holding on to fear, where we're still playing small. 2025 isn't asking us to bypass those lessons. It's asking us to integrate them. To see the gifts in every connection, even the difficult ones. Because at the end of the day, every relationship is a mirror. And the clearer we become, the clearer our reflections. So, as we move through this year, take a moment to ask yourself, what kind of love am I calling in? Not just romantic love, but love in all its forms. Am I ready to receive it? Am I ready to embody it? This is the essence of higher love. It's not something we wait for. It's something we become. And as we step into that energy, as we quantum jump into these new realities, something incredible happens. The entire world begins to shift. Because higher love isn't just personal. It's collective. Every time you choose love over fear, every time you show up with authenticity and courage, you're adding to the ripple effect. You're co-creating a reality where love is the foundation. That's the message of 2025. It's not about waiting for the world to change, it's about realizing that you are the change. Every thought, every action, every intention matters. And as we navigate this year together, I invite you to hold this vision, a world where relationships are sacred, where love is abundant, and where every choice is a step toward our highest potential. Because that's where we're headed. And I, for one, can't wait to see what we create. Let's talk about what happens when we fully embrace this energetic shift, when we truly embody higher love, step into new timelines, and let go of the old stories that have kept us tethered. It's not all smooth sailing, is it? There's a kind of turbulence that comes with transformation. Like a plane ascending through thick clouds, there's shaking, there's discomfort, and sometimes there's fear. The thing about quantum jumping into new realities is that it requires trust. Not just in the universe, but in ourselves. Trust that we're capable of choosing differently, even when it's uncomfortable. Trust that the people, places, and circumstances we're leaving behind will find their own perfect alignment. And trust that what lies ahead, what we're leaping toward, is worth the uncertainty of the in-between. And here's the paradox. The more we focus on our inner alignment, the more our external relationships begin to align as well. It's like tuning an instrument. When you're vibrating at the frequency of love, authenticity, and truth, the universe naturally brings people into your life who resonate with that frequency. But this doesn't mean every relationship will be easy. Higher love isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about approaching them from a place of wholeness. It's about staying curious when conflict arises, asking, "What is this here to teach me?" rather than shutting down or assigning blame. This is where quantum jumping becomes such a powerful tool. When you're faced with a challenging relationship dynamic, you have a choice. You can stay in the loop of old patterns, or you can shift into a timeline where a new possibility exists. What would that look like for you? Maybe it means imagining a conversation where you both feel seen and heard. Maybe it means visualizing the relationship as a source of mutual growth and support, rather than one of struggle or compromise. Or maybe it means releasing the connection altogether, trusting that both of you will find alignment in your own ways. The beauty of quantum jumping is that it's not just about imagining a better future. It's about anchoring that energy in the present. It's about embodying the vibration of the reality you want to create, even before you see evidence of it in the external world. This is where faith comes in, not blind faith, but the kind of faith that comes from knowing, deep in your bones, that you are supported by forces far greater than you can imagine. And this faith isn't just theoretical. It's something you can feel, especially when you start to pay attention to the synchronicities around you. Have you noticed how, when you're in alignment, the universe seems to communicate with you through little signs and symbols? A song that plays at just the right moment. A chance encounter that shifts your perspective. A feeling of clarity that comes out of nowhere. These are breadcrumbs, reminders that you're on the right path. They're the universe's way of saying, keep going. You're closer than you think. As we move deeper into 2025, these synchronicities are likely to become even more pronounced. The veil between the seen and unseen worlds is thinning, and our ability to tune into the quantum field is stronger than ever. This is why the choices we make now carry so much weight, not in a heavy or burdensome way, but in a way that reminds us of our power. Every time you choose love over fear, you're making a quantum jump. Every time you set a boundary that honors your truth, you're aligning with a higher timeline. Every time you forgive yourself or someone else, you're clearing the energetic debris that keeps you tethered to the past. This is the magic of higher love. It's not about perfection or having all the answers. It's about showing up, again and again, with an open heart and a willingness to grow. And here's the most beautiful part. As you do this work within yourself, you create a ripple effect that touches everyone around you. Your energy becomes an invitation. A reminder that it's safe to be vulnerable, to be real, to love deeply. This is how we shift not just our individual timelines, but the collective one. Because the truth is, we're all connected. Every act of love, no matter how small, raises the vibration of the entire planet. So, as you continue to navigate this year, remember that you're part of something much larger than yourself. Every step you take toward higher love, every leap of faith, every moment of courage, it all matters. Because 2025 isn't just about personal transformation. It's about collective awakening. It's about remembering that we are all threads in the same tapestry, each of us weaving our unique colors into the fabric of a new reality. And as we step into this new era together, one thing becomes clear: higher love isn't just a destination. It's the path, the journey, and the very essence of who we are. This realization, that higher love is both the journey and the destination, opens up something profound within us. It's as if the walls we've built around our hearts begin to dissolve, brick by brick, revealing a kind of tenderness we might not have even known was there. But with that tenderness comes vulnerability. And let's be honest, vulnerability can feel like standing naked in a storm. It asks us to show up as we are, messy, imperfect, and human, without the masks we've used to protect ourselves. Yet, this is the very essence of higher love. It's raw, it's real, and it doesn't demand perfection. It simply asks for presence. In 2025, we're being called to lean into this vulnerability, not as a weakness, but as our greatest strength. Because when we allow ourselves to be truly seen, when we let the walls fall away, we create the kind of connections that transcend time and space. Have you ever experienced a moment like that? A moment where you felt completely and utterly seen? It's rare, isn't it? But when it happens, it changes you. It reminds you of what's possible when two souls meet without pretense, without fear, without the need to prove or perform. This is the energy we're stepping into now. And while it might feel tender, even uncomfortable at times, it's also where the magic happens. But here's the thing: vulnerability isn't just about being open with others. It's also about being honest with ourselves. It's about admitting when we're afraid, when we're stuck, when we're clinging to old patterns that no longer serve us. This self-awareness is the foundation of higher love. Because the truth is, we can only meet others as deeply as we've met ourselves. So, what does it mean to meet yourself deeply? It means sitting with your shadows, the parts of you that you've hidden or rejected, and holding them with compassion. It means embracing your light, the parts of you that are bold, radiant, and unapologetically authentic, even when it feels safer to dim it. And it means trusting that every part of you, every scar, every story, every spark, is worthy of love. As we do this inner work, something incredible starts to happen in our external relationships. The energy we bring to them shifts. Instead of seeking validation or approval, we begin to approach connections from a place of wholeness. This doesn't mean we stop needing people. Far from it. We're wired for connection, it's in our very DNA. But the kind of connection we crave changes. Instead of clinging to relationships out of fear or scarcity, we start to cultivate relationships that feel expansive, nurturing, and aligned. And this is where the quantum magic truly begins. When you align with your highest self, when you embody the energy of higher love, you naturally attract people who resonate with that frequency. It's like your entire energetic field becomes a magnet, drawing in connections that reflect your growth, your truth, and your light. But what's equally important is the way you start to release relationships that no longer align. This isn't about cutting people out of your life in anger or judgment. It's about recognizing when a connection has served its purpose and having the courage to let it evolve, or dissolve, with grace. There's a deep wisdom in this. Because every relationship, no matter how brief or challenging, is part of your soul's journey. It's here to teach you something, to help you grow, to remind you of who you are. As we move through 2025, this process of alignment, of calling in what's meant for us and releasing what's not, will become more natural. It's as if the universe is streamlining our connections, ensuring that the people in our lives are the ones who are meant to walk this path with us. But here's an important reminder: this alignment isn't about perfection. It's not about finding people who never trigger us or challenge us. In fact, some of the most aligned relationships are the ones that push us to grow in ways we never expected. Higher love isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about navigating it together, with compassion and a commitment to growth. It's about holding space for each other's humanity, while also inspiring each other to reach new heights. And this is where the collective energy of 2025 becomes so powerful. Because as more of us step into this frequency of higher love, we create a ripple effect that transforms not just our personal relationships, but the entire fabric of humanity. Think about it. What would the world look like if more of us chose love over fear? If more of us approached our connections with authenticity, vulnerability, and courage? If more of us were willing to do the inner work, to show up fully, and to co-create relationships that uplift and inspire? This is the invitation of 2025. It's a call to step into a new paradigm of connection, one that's rooted in love, in truth, and in the infinite possibilities of the quantum field. So, as you move forward, remember this: every choice you make, every intention you set, every act of love, no matter how small, contributes to this shift. You are a powerful co-creator. And your energy, your light, your love, matters more than you can imagine. Together, we're weaving a new reality. One where relationships are sacred. Where love is abundant. And where the possibilities are endless. And as we step into this new timeline together, know that you are never alone. We're all connected, all part of this great unfolding. And the best is yet to come.